The Bondi Beach attacks in Australia were accompanied on social media by a torrent of anti-Semitic abuse for anyone who offered condolences or paid tribute to the victims. Actually, Kate and I were talking about how much we regard Danny Finkelstein, one of our colleagues, and were overwhelmed on social media with a bunch of morons having a go at him and us. It's a real sewage of social media around the Bondi Beach attacks, as you might imagine. Holocaust denial and revisionist history of World War II is a common trope in this kind of online abuse. Is there any point in trying to correct those narratives or insert historical facts into those spaces? A new YouTube show called History Uncensored is trying to look again at history. It's part of Piers Morgan's Uncensored brand. Bianca Nobilo, who presents and conceived the show, joins us now in the studio. Bianca, morning to you.
Good morning, both of you.
So are you trying to fight against... So I had a conversation yesterday on this station about even the notion of truth, historical truth, seems to have almost gone. It doesn't matter. If you assert something loudly enough, it becomes true to the people who want to believe it.
There's a very weird postmodern disintegration of truth, and that really alarms me. It has since I've worked in politics, and when I was in journalism, there isn't a consensus. So what I was planning with History Uncensored is that you have orthodoxy, which can be a bit dusty and sometimes avoid really difficult topics or even topics that people are fascinated by and is for a select few. And then you have all of the noise of the internet where the conspiracy theories rush into the vacuum and people don't really know what to believe. So my mission with the show is to tackle all kinds of topics. Nothing's off limits, the dangerous and important ones and the sort of fun and eccentric, and approach it with rigour and focus on the evidence.
And orthodoxy can be wrong as well, of course. Exactly. One of the virtues of postmodernism was it actually started challenging the concept of authority. It just seems it's gone too far.
It's an overcorrection. Exactly, I completely agree.
When you get to the question of the Holocaust, I'm very strict. Piers did an interview with Nick Fuentes, which I don't really agree with.
The day that the show was announced.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't really agree with that because I'm a big free speech guy and I think people should be able to more or less say what they like. But there's the danger if you platform idiots who don't actually have a historical framework, who aren't really making coherent historical arguments. They're just being deliberately provocative to enhance their own brand. How do you tackle something like Holocaust denial without somehow giving succor to the people who believe in it?
Well, first of all, I had a similar sense of trepidation. So I was aware of all of that because the day that the show was announced was the day that Piers did this live debate with Nick Fuentes, and I knew about his opinions on the Holocaust and Hitler, and of course he has masses of followers.
He says Hitler's a cool
Hitler's
guy.
cool despite, I mean, he acknowledged the level of death and devastation this time, which was sort of novel for him, and still said that he was very cool and he liked his uniforms. But I think what I experienced was fascinating to me because I'm not Jewish. So my family were affected by the Holocaust. My grandfather was an Auschwitz prisoner, but he was a political prisoner. And I saw Danny Finkelstein in the corridor and I talked to him about how hard it must be to be subjected to this when your family has had such horrific impact from something that nowadays a 27-year-old guy in his mum's basement is denying. And
I'm making jokes about
it, you know, and that's why I think this kind of historical revisionism really has to be fought. And the only way you can do that is by having really open discussions, getting the experts on and presenting them with the facts. And if people still want to deny it, then I'm not sure what we do. But even historically speaking, you know, a couple of our first episodes, I'm looking at the Russian Revolution. I just did one on the Crusades. And unintentionally, they all have elements of anti-Semitism woven through them, whether it's the Crusade in 1096, which was the first sort of religiously justified mass violence against Jews, up into the pogroms in Russia. You see it woven through history, and it's often employed as a way for society to understand its failures when it can't.
Well, listen, Bianca, I'm so glad you're doing this. It's such an interesting thing to be getting into. I really look forward to watching this. It's on YouTube, isn't it?
It is on YouTube, yes.
Bianca Nobilo, great to speak to you.
Thank you both.